There's a huge difference between invalidation and disagreement. Disagreement is unsafe because of the experiences we've had in our lives. As a child, every time I may have disagreed with someone, the response would be so emotionally unsafe for me. That was really scary. So I don't want to put myself back in a situation like that. So then we learn just not to disagree. Along with that, we also learn that every time I'm wrong, I get made fun of. I'm shamed, I'm pushed away, I'm ridiculed. And then we kind of get stuck in this loop of not wanting to disagree, but then I can't not disagree because then I'll be seen as wrong. So then the protector parts of ourselves are just constantly trying to fight to get my point across, at the same time as finding it extremely unsafe to be in that situation of disagreeing, but then I can't just stop because then it's unsafe if I'm wrong. So the whole concept of disagreeing is like so confusing and unsafe to us in so many ways unconsciously that we're not even aware of. And this can be about anything. It can be about the smallest thing. Along with that, there's a lot of things in reality that is extremely subjective. Let's talk about sports. Let's say there are two football teams that are very, very similar in what they're doing, where they are, the type of players that they have. One person could subjectively think that one team is better than the other, and the other person could subjectively believe the other team is better than that team. And that's completely okay. This is each person's subjective opinion. But because you would be disagreeing, it would still trigger the disagreeing wounds that you have. So the whole concept of disagreeing in itself regarding anything, whether it's subjective or factual, is extremely unsafe. Now, the reasons that it's unsafe is because our emotional unsafety comes from an invalidation of our reality. To simplify it, and this is simple, not easy. To simplify it, our pain comes from invalidation of our reality in those moments. As a child, if I am authentically myself in a moment where I am angry, I am being scolded for being angry as a way to correct a behavior that is seen as not acceptable by my caregivers. In that scolding, it is extremely unsafe to me because I am learning that I cannot be the part of myself that is angry. That part of myself is not accepted. If it was accepted, that part of myself would be validated and it'd be like, oh, okay, it's okay to be angry. I get that. I understand. Let's work with it. But in the correction of behavior, the message that I'm getting that it's not okay is through an invalidation of the behavior. It is not okay. I am invalidating that behavior. So as a child, what we do in order to maintain a connection with our caregivers is I do that same thing onto myself. I reject this part of myself. And by rejecting this part of myself, I reject it so that I am now accepted by my caregiver. And by rejecting this part of myself, I do it through invalidating how this part of myself feels. I will push it away. So invalidation in any sense is basically, simplistically, what creates our pain. And we've had many experiences where through disagreements, we have been invalidated. But this is the big but. Disagreement and invalidation are very different things. And this journey of becoming more self-aware is because there will be moments in your life where someone will disagree with you in a healthy way, but it still will trigger the invalidation that you've experienced in the past. And there's also going to be experiences where people will disagree with you in an invalidating way. But until we start becoming aware of the part of ourselves that have been triggered in the moments where someone might be disagreeing with us, we can then kind of get to a place where we're looking at the situation more, looking at it from an objective perspective to kind of go like, okay, well, was that disagreement done by invalidating my side, my reality, my views? And if it wasn't, what is it inside of myself that is being triggered? What is this behavior that's coming out? I need to understand that about myself. This is a deep-rooted part of the wounded masculine. The masculine is the initiator, the forward-moving energy. The wounded masculine is kind of like jumping ahead in survival. For example, if there was like an animal that's going to attack, I would also be there and attack. In these moments when we are triggered, that's what's happening. It's like, hey, no, we're already in it. We're already in this spiral of our wounds regarding the unsafety through invalidation of getting things wrong and disagreeing. It's completely okay to disagree with someone, and it's completely okay for someone to disagree with you. But if you're finding yourself, you're not able to get to a place where you're able to have a disagreement in a healthy context and a healthy conversation, that requires exploration opinion of yourself for both parties. This is again why self-awareness is so important. And if you've been watching my YouTube videos recently, you'll know that I have a masterclass regarding how important self-awareness is. Literally, the title is called The Importance of Self-Awareness. If you want to watch that, the link for that will be in the description. I talk so much deeper in regards to how we work, what forgiveness really truly is, how to let go and what that even means. I've got a technique where I'm calling the inner awareness framework, which allows you to question yourself in a way where you can understand yourself in the moments that you would be triggered to be in the wounds in regards to something like disagreement. In order to be able to have healthier relationships with other people and ourselves, you have to raise your self-awareness in order to be able to ask these questions about yourself, in order to understand why these behaviors exist, where they came from, and to integrate these parts of yourself and create new beliefs about yourself that will lead you to other more healthier behaviors in these moments. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone that will disagree with you is doing it in a validating, healthy way. And honestly, it's not down to us to change anyone's behavior, but you can start becoming aware of this yourself, and you can start setting these boundaries. That might look like, hey, I've recognized that when we try and communicate with each other in the moments that we disagree, we're really invalidating ourselves. We're really invalidating each other. So what I'd like to do is be able to get to a place where we can disagree in a healthier way, where we're not invalidating each other. You can present conversations like this to people in your life, and it's entirely down to them whether they want to meet you in that same place or not. Have a lovely day.